Hi Twin Flames, hi light workers, Lisha and Andy here with another video. And this time I'm going to be speaking from my own personal experience on my own personal twin flame journey. And if you're new to this channel, thank you for joining me. My name is Lisha and Andy, and I am a twin flame in a celebrity twin flame connection. And I am excited to let you guys know a little more about my journey and to tell you guys what are the signs and synchronicities that I experienced on my own personal journey. This has been a long awaited video, I know. And so I hope that you guys will enjoy this, as well as understand also that everyone's twin flame journey is different. I'm only giving you these examples from my own twin flame journey because I want you guys to just basically have something to reference, but it doesn't always happen exactly the same in every situation, especially when it comes to signs and synchronicities, because a lot of times these signs and synchronicities are tailored to your own journey based on your guides and your, your higher self. Okay, so your higher self and your spirit guides are going to actually come up with a lot of the signs and synchronicities that you see before you even incarnate here on Earth, so that you will have kind of like gauges, so you can know exactly what your journey is meant to happen, what is meant to happen on your journey, and how, and what types of signs that you're meant to see, kind of like breadcrumbs, like in the story of Hansel and Gretel, when they had to walk through the forest and, they needed to find their way back home, they would leave breadcrumbs. And so these are like your spiritual breadcrumbs for you to know, little tidbits about your journey and how they relate to you in the spirit world, and what things you were sending yourself as your higher self was sending you, to be able to understand what your journey was bringing into your life, okay? Or to basically understand what your journey entailed, in a sense that, it connects you with that 5D realm, it connects you with the spirit world, so that you can know that there are specific things that are relating to your journey to help you along on your way, okay? These are signs from your higher self, and that's what, you should realize about any type of signs and synchronicities. And that means that if your signs and synchronicities are, they seem kind of like out there, it's because, those are the signs that you wanted to have, so that you could know on your journey for yourself, oh yeah, this is something that is specifically tailored to me, that I came up with, before I incarnated here. I wanted to have something specific. Some people might have different, like, different symbols and animals, or, different symbols and different material things that they might see. One of the people that I follow on Instagram, she's kind of a really large influencer, and she talks about having a specific coin that represents, her mother's presence. Whenever she thinks about her mother, this a particular coin always appears whenever she's really missing her mother. And so that's one of the signs, that she has for her journey. But somebody else might say, oh, that's kind of a far stretch, but for her, she knows that this is what it means to her. And everybody's signs, like I said, is specific to their journey, okay? So, so actually, this is more just for your own entertainment, because, like I said, most everyone else is going to have signs that are specific to them. So, on this particular video, you shouldn't really look for the similarities, because this is, my journey. It's my signs, it's my synchronicities that were meant for me, that were custom made for me, so that I could have my spiritual breadcrumbs to be able to reference in the 5D, okay? All right, so my first major sign, okay, I would say, because there were things that happened to me before I even knew about twin flames, before I even knew about this journey, and before I even knew who my twin flame was. And so this was a big sign for me that kind of stuck in the back of my mind and didn't really I didn't really understand it until much later on when I was to learn about twin flames. Okay, so um, just a little bit about my background. I had only I had been in a relationship with someone for for I had a 20-year relationship with someone as a karmic partner. And this person was very influential in helping me with a lot of different things, helping me to understand more about who I am, and some of the things that I went through in my past. He was kind of influential in helping me with my traumas. And, he also helped me with my singing. So there were a lot of things that he did for me, starting me out on my journey. And this is before I was really spiritually awakened to any type of journey, but it was meant for me to have this person in my life. Okay, this person was what you would call a karmic partner or catalyst, someone who's there to propel you farther on your journey, to help you to get to the point where you awaken to a spiritual path and learn about yourself and start to understand who you are as a spiritual being. So he was a very spiritual person in that he wasn't traditional. He didn't, necessarily practice religion the way I did growing up. And he was always kind of like, questioning a lot of the things that were being taught when he was growing up as far as religion was concerned, which allowed him to have more of an open mind and for him to be able to go and research things on his own. And so he ended up learning about things that were specific to his journey, but it also ended up, trickling over to me because I was in his life. And so I would learn about these things as well based on his experiences he would share with me. And so I started to be more open-minded too, because I grew up in a largely Christian home. And I started to understand, I had always been curious about other religions as well as other, practices of spirituality. And, I didn't understand what was truly the right thing to be or to call myself. But I was always open-minded to, everyone's way of belief, and just understanding that everybody, has a right to believe what they want to believe based on their experiences. But a lot of times we are conditioned or programmed to be a certain way based on our upbringing. And so until you get to the point where you basically come out of that by becoming an adult and getting out on your own and learning more about what life has to offer, then you don't really know until you kind of hit your young adult years, and you start to realize, that some things in life can be different, can be lived differently than what you were taught growing up. Okay, and that was my experience. So I met someone, once I got to be an adult, I was in school, and I started to, to just want to know more about different things. And so this person introduced me to a lot of that. And not only that, they helped me with my confidence, my self-confidence, and helped me to become more, open-minded about how life should be and what I can do with my life. And so, and from that point on, instead of going down one career path, which was to be in medicine, I chose to follow my heart and go down another path, which was to be in music. Okay. And so I left a career in medicine to go and pick up music full time. And, well, I still had to have a day job. So that's basically why I still have the day job that I have, is because, even though I decided to go into music, it wasn't going to start paying me, I wasn't going to be able to make a living off of it right off the bat. So I decided to go into retail, and I started, working there. But anyway, in the meantime, I was enjoying my life. When I first started out with this person, I had a wonderful time, like I said, going out and doing new things that I didn't get to do when I was growing up. Having, those experiences were really amazing for me, because it was just a whole new world for me. It was just like opening up a whole new chapter of my life that I didn't feel I had exposure to growing up. And so one of those things included researching a lot of the music that I didn't get to listen to growing up because my parents were so strict. So that was one thing that kind of like started me out as far as realizing that my parents were so religious and they didn't necessarily approve of me listening to certain types of music. And lo and behold, I would come to find out later down the line, this specific type of music is the music that my twin flame is into and he sings. So it's just funny how, I was restricted from a lot of things growing up that would possibly allow me to interact or meet or come in or cross paths with my twin flame earlier. I was really, in a very sheltered environment. I went through a lot of different traumas growing up. I was basically afraid to do a lot of things on my own, afraid to take chances on being out there, and I was very introverted. So a lot of the things that you would say probably my twin flame has, I was kind of the opposite because I was raised different. I was raised very different from him. So one of the biggest signs that I experienced early on was that my karmic partner was casually talking to me one day, and I do believe that as time went on, we started to realize, both of us, that we weren't going to end up being together in the long term. This was somebody that came into my life for a season. It ended up being a 20-year season, but it was a season for me to grow and to learn and to develop, okay? And I didn't really know about karma either because I was Christian, I was brought up Christian. So, karma wasn't something that I was taught about. And, so when I was listening to this person speaking to me about different different spiritual practices, different types of, different belief systems, I was kind of just really amazed and in awe about his knowledge and know-how. So I really, kind of like was a little bit naive in the sense that I trusted a lot of the things he said without knowing, how to research it for myself, or without researching it for myself, I should say. So I took it at, for what he was telling me that it should be and how things are in the world without really having my own experiences to go off of about life. And so his life to me was so fascinating. He was a little older than me. He had had more experiences than me, some that were very, what you probably consider major experiences, like having, kind of touched on a little bit of a celebrity lifestyle himself, because he had played professional football for a while and, for a few years. And then he ended up going to school, back to school, which is how we ended up meeting. So, he told me about, listening to music and how he used to DJ and how he used to love dancing at parties. And these were things that I had never experienced growing up. I didn't really get to go to dances growing up. The only dance that I ever went to was my senior prom. So, and then again, the music that I was, basically shunned from listening to was the type of music that, I would eventually know that my twin flame was involved with, like R&B. So I started learning how to develop my taste in music, and from listening to my karmic partner telling me about his experiences, and we would listen to music together a lot. We would listen to a lot of music together, and I started to fall in love with certain styles of music, and old school R&B was one of those styles. And I just wanted to point out or let you guys know that last night I was able to go to an Isley Brothers concert, and it was amazing. It was phenomenal. And that was actually my first concert, my first major concert I've ever been to. And so, that is something that also I have been able to do, lately, which is doing something fun, with a friend, and something I had never done before, okay? So we'll talk more about that a little later. But when I was starting to get more into music and starting to learn what taste of and style of music that I like, I realized that I did love R&B music, and also soul music in general. And so I started to open up that world of music to myself and started to research more about it. And then I would also, since I started to sing, he got me out of my stage fright by taking me to sing karaoke. And then eventually I started singing with live bands. And the live bands were so fun because, I was terrified at first, but it got to be so comfortable for me that I really felt like this is something that I should be doing. This is what I always have wanted to do, was perform and, and be able to show people, the gifts that I have through singing. And so, and so by doing that, I was wanting to know everything I could know about this entertainment industry and this music industry, okay, in particular. And so every year, or most of the time, we would end up watching certain certain TV shows that were celebrity award shows. And so, well, let me backtrack for a little bit. So the first thing that my comic partner told me once, and this was, I remember exactly where we were when he told me this, and I always would remember this because it stuck in my head until this day, is that he said to me, because this is the time that I told you guys that we were starting to realize that we may not end up being together in the long term, but we were, trying to see if we could both do something with the music. He was trying to, he was kind of acting as my manager and helping me to really understand more about the industry. And he was doing the research about that himself as well, as far as being a manager and knowing how to, communicate with people in the industry. So he was helping me with my career, but he was also telling me at the same time that he kind of figured later down the line that we weren't, going to end up being together. And so one day when we were driving and I was taking him to work, he said, you're not really supposed to be with me. You're supposed to be with so-and-so, and lo and behold, so-and-so was actually the name of my twin flame. And he described this person, he was trying to tell me who this person was because he couldn't remember his name, but he described this person to a T. And I said, you mean so-and-so? And he's like, yeah, this is the person that, I should feel like I feel like you should be with, And I was just like shocked because I was like, really? And not only was I shocked, but I was laughing because I didn't believe that this could ever happen or that I would ever, be able to cross paths with this person. Not only that, but I just thought it was so far out of reach, for me, because I just didn't see myself like that. I didn't see myself as someone who could be with a celebrity, at all, and so I was just very plain, very, simple, even very nerdy in school, and I didn't have a lot of friends, so this was totally out of my element, and so I just kind of laughed and shrugged it off, and, my comic partner was very optimistic about, life and always saw things, in a way, whereas, possible things that could happen. And he also kind of had some insight himself because, like I said, I think he might have been on his spiritual path, and that would give him insights, signs and synchronicities of his own that he probably didn't realize he was getting that were helping me as well. And this was one of them. He named my twin flame, and he, told me that he felt this was someone that he could see me being with, So I was just so amazed by this. But then, like I said, I never did give it any second thought at all. I just I thought it was amusing at the time. And a few years later, we were watching one of the award shows, and someone came on the award show and got such a great response. And so it was just like amazing because I had never seen this person perform before, and he was just so handsome to me, and so just the way he delivered was just amazing, and just, I mean, it just gives you like tingles all up and down your spine. I was just kind of struck, head over heels. And so I had this huge beam on my face, this huge smile. And we were sitting there, my karmic partner and I, in the living room watching this on our TV. And I'm just smiling and gawking at this person on TV. And it happened to be the person that he mentioned, a few years prior to that, as far as who I should be with. And so I was just like just shocked, and so that to see them on a show, I had never seen him perform before, and he did an amazing job. And my karmic partner was looking at me and just kind of like staring at me more than the TV, and was asking me. He just asked me, he's like, "So what are you grinning at so much?" And I was just kind of like so shy about it because I didn't know why I was grinning. I had no idea why I was grinning so hard at this person because they were just beautiful to me. They were just so, handsome. The energy was amazing, and I just had never seen anything like this kind of a performance before. So this is one of the reasons why, I felt drawn, but it was just for that moment. Okay. So it was just a fleeting moment for me to be able to witness him in his glory, and to see him just was just an amazing experience. That was the first time I had ever seen him performing. Okay. But it would be many, many years later before I would even, research his music or see anything else about him because I did not know this person for anything. I never knew of him or um, listened to his music. Like I said, I wasn't growing up listening to his music like a lot of people did. They grew up listening to him. They grew up, you know, some of them were diehard fans from the day one, and I never had that experience. I never had the experience of being able to grow with him as a fan because I didn't know him. I didn't know of him. I was very sheltered. I was kept away from a lot of those types of things. And so, I hadn't had any interaction with his music except for what I would hear on the radio. When I'd have my car radio on, then I would hear a couple of songs, and I still wouldn't really know, who he was to me. I would just hear the songs and they would sound really good, and I would even sing along with them sometimes. But I didn't have any idea that they were, relevant to me. So it was just amazing and funny how my whole entire life I went without really hearing a lot of his songs and knowing who he was or knowing how he's going to impact my life. Okay, so that was the first huge sign. How many people can say that somebody else along their journey told them that they were going to end up with so and so who happened to be, their twin flame? And how many times, have you seen someone out in public or on the TV, and you realize that you just had such an attraction to them, that you just couldn't explain, and I was beaming, I was smiling, so grinning from ear to ear, throughout this whole performance, I was glued to this performance, and it was just like so amazing to me. And so I never will forget that, and so that was one of my biggest signs, and that was, I think, the biggest sign from the universe that something was gonna happen in my life later down the line that was gonna be amazing and beautiful. And it was just, the seed was planted. That's all I can say, is that at that time the seed was planted, and my higher self was giving me my little breadcrumb as far as starting me out on my journey to know who I was going to eventually end up with and where my life was going to end up going. Okay. So, so that was, 1 and 2, which I was trying to list these so that you guys could know, how many I had. I have about 11 of these signs and synchronicities of my own. So that's 1 and 2. And then, number 3 is that, okay, so fast forward, like I said, because, those were very early on that I learned about, my karmic partner telling me that I should be with this person. But then later on down the line, other things that happened on my journey was that I told you guys I didn't have access to social media or to basically a computer of my own because, my karmic partner was really against, a lot of social media, and also even cell phones, as far as having the smartphones. I was one of the probably the last people to get a smartphone because my current partner didn't really believe in them. He felt they were major distractions, and and he had a lot of like conspiracy theories about things like that. And so um, you know, I just never did, since I was, like I said, so into his way of thinking, and I didn't research on my own. That was another thing that prevented me from discovering my twin flame sooner, because I didn't have access to social media. I didn't have my own computer or laptop or even a phone to work with until 2016. So in 2016, I actually ended up going ahead and getting a smartphone, because at that time, it was just kind of impossible to do certain things. We were we were at that stage where he had a computer, but it was just a hard drive, and one of those old school computers. And so when we would need to go somewhere, we would have to do MapQuest and then print it out on paper and then use that, for going places, especially when we were going to gigs and things like that I would go sing at. And it was just like funny because, by this time people had GPS and had smartphones, and they could get all of this on their GPS. And so we had been doing things so old school that, we would he would have me printing out the directions to go to places that we would want to go. And after a while, it just got to the point where, we needed this. I needed to have a smartphone for me in order to be able to do certain things, like, when I did lose my job, which I told you guys about, and I wanted to apply for a new job. I needed to have a way to do that without having to go to the library all the time, or having to, wait to use his computer. And so, you know, technology was just booming, and things were starting to change. And so, I felt like this was the time. So I went ahead and invested in my own smartphone. And so I was able to start doing a lot of things on there. Basically it's like having a computer in your hands. And so I remember just, learning, just loving the fact that I had access to, a computer, a personal computer now of my own. And so this is the time that I started to make music, and recording it on a little microphone that I would hook up to my Android phone. And I started to post things on SoundCloud. And that was an exciting time for me, discovering, that I could do this. And I started to really learn how to make music and record it on my own. And that was going to be one of the things that would help to, um, you know, draw me farther into my own journey as far as my passion and knowing what I love to do, reawakening that within me. Because while I was singing with my current partner, I was always going out singing standards and singing music that other people had written, and singing with, bands that had songs that they had already made. But I, had it in me to write songs as well. And so there were songs that I wanted to write, and they were just wanting to come out of me. Spiritually, I feel like, my gifts were being turned on right after I lost my job. And so during this time, I learned how to find beats that I could use to make songs with, and to start writing my own lyrics and recording songs on my own. So I did that, and that was going to raise my vibration enough for me to eventually meet my twin flame. Okay. And so, and it wasn't going to be physically meeting him, but it was going to be, I was going to be able to see him and have that soul recognition. And that was going to allow me to know he was my twin flame. Okay. So this was in 2017 that I started to make a lot of music on my own in my car, and in my car at that, on my cell phone. And I eventually invested in a laptop, and started doing, and also a really nice microphone, and started to record that way, but and use my own recording digital audio workshop. But before I did all that, I was just so excited to be able to have something in my own possession, and and also be on social media. So the way I got onto social media was a friend of mine had told me that by getting on Instagram, I would be able to really share my music with a larger audience, because I was kind of concerned that not a lot of people were hearing me on SoundCloud because I didn't have a way to really promote myself. And so a friend of mine told me to go ahead and get on Instagram and get the app, download the app, and have an account and start, posting little videos on my Instagram so that I could have, more of an audience there, and that people would start to really run into me and start to, want to listen to my music more. So, I had been skeptical, for a long time, because I really kind of had bought into my karmic partner's way of believing that, social media was bad and that it was not good for you and not healthy. And, you know, um, that it was just going to make me, be more suckered into wasting a lot more time. But, I decided to give this a try because I thought, well, what the heck, I'll just go ahead and see how it works for me. If it does bring more people, to listen to my music, I'm really thrilled about that. And so I got an account. I started to post little snippets of my music on Instagram. And this was in December of 2018. And I had already had several songs that I was able to go ahead and publish and have on Spotify and Apple Music by this time. So I actually was, growing in this whole period of time so much, whereas I came from doing my little recordings on my phone to going into, producing my own music and having, things released, you know, um, professionally. So in a very short period of time, that also showed me that this was truly my passion. So I started posting the snippets of these videos, um, and like I said, before I actually have mentioned this before in another video that I did. When I was on Instagram, I was kind of um, following people, and so that I would take interest in. And one particular day, after having followed so many different people, celebrities, I was just kind of like picking and choosing whoever kind of popped up in my head to follow. Or if I saw something interesting on my feed, I would follow them, if I liked their posts. And so one particular day, the little bar in the middle of the page, which tells you who you should follow as far as suggested follows, suggested the name of my twin flame. And so I was just kind of like, oh, that's cool. I kind of would be interested in knowing more about this artist because I didn't know anything about him. And so I decided to follow him. And so I followed him, and then started to look at his page. And he had just recently had released a new song, and it was a really pretty song, and I really enjoyed it. So I started listening to it, and I started researching his music at that point. And so I started to find other music that he had written and published and everything. And it was just a fascinating journey because I was able to see more of his work and through his Instagram page. And so I didn't know anything about him being my twin flame at the time. I was just kind of like interested and curious to know who he is as a person, as an artist. And so, his page was very well laid out, and he just, it looked very professional. It had a lot of people, like a lot of different, you could tell it was a professionally done page. And so it was not like, this person probably had a lot of hand in doing it himself. On the other hand, there were times when he would get on and he would post things, and I would kind of know that he was posting it because he would have personal photographs or selfies that he would take that were kind of like not as professional, I would say. So that would be indicated to me that he was actually posting. And so uh as I posted my own stuff, I started to see that he would post things. And so, of course, now that I'm following him, I would see his post pop up on my feed. And so I would just be curious and I'd be interested in, and so one time I was just like, I was at work and I was bored at work and I was posting my little video snippets of my own music, and I opened the Instagram app, and the first thing I see is that he had posted a picture of himself, and so it was very, it had just happened. I mean, like literally seconds before he had posted it, and I opened the app, and so that was like so weird. I was like, wow, um, I know that I just opened his app, but his picture just showed up on my app right away, like the first thing, and so it was just funny, and I would just this would happen over and over again. I'm like over and over again, whereas I would open the app just looking for just getting on there to be, scrolling through. I would open the app, and immediately when I would open the app, his picture would pop up, and he would have just posted something like seconds, literally seconds before I opened the app. And I would be like, it seems like I would be one of the first people to see his post. And I would always go ahead and like it, because I really was, interested in his content. And so I liked his post, and I would never really comment on it, but I would like it. And so soon after, I started to really take an interest in why this was happening so frequently. Like, why was every single time I got on Instagram, this person's picture would come up that he had just posted. And so, I'm just kind of like clued into something is going on. And so that was what I would call a synchronicity for me, because I didn't, there were other artists and other people on my follows that I would say would come up as well. But every time I opened the app, this particular person would be there, and he had just posted when I was about to post something too. It was just crazy, for me. So I started to get clued in that something was going on. So since I was very new to social media, though, I didn't really know how things worked. And so I remember also getting a like from a celebrity, that was another singer, a musician or artist, from one of the posts that I had made. And so I was just kind of like amazed. I'm like, wow, this can actually happen. Whereas you can get noticed by celebrities on here, and you can get them actually liking your posts. And so when I had something like that happen, that was also kind of amazing to me, that this whole world of social media opened up this door for me to be able to have interaction with celebrities. And so I started seeing more celebrities, interested in my work. And so it was just kind of amazing to me that this was happening. And I didn't know that there was such a thing as, catfishing people out there, and scammers who would just kind of like go on there and make fake pages. So because I was new to social media, because I had no idea, I was also vulnerable prey to people who were scamming and catfishing, and also making creating fake pages under celebrities' names. Okay, so back then, the blue check really did kind of help indicate that this was a legitimate account. But now it's not so much because people can buy it. But anyway, so back then, I was getting a few likes from people that had blue checks, but then there were also people that were coming up and liking my posts, who were claiming to have the name of a celebrity page, and it would say private page, or it would say something like, it would have numbers behind it or something like that. So not knowing that this was something that was happening, because I was very new to social media, I ended up falling prey to someone who messaged me with the name of my twin flame, and started to interact with me through the DMs, okay, through the direct message. And so little did I know that this was not my twin flame, this was someone else. But I ended up getting into a false twin flame connection. And so that is a whole nother story that I can have you guys reference by going to my false twin flame video. if you want to know more about that, because you'll be able to hear all about that. It's another video that's in my playlist, okay, if you want to know more about that. But for this purposes, I'm going to just, skip over that experience, but allow you to understand how I started to have more synchronicities with my true twin flame, because I was also continuing to research more about him in the meantime. Even though I had this interaction with this other person, I still believed that I was speaking to the real person, okay? And so I would continue to look at his posts, and even the ones that were coming up on this private page, it was still, under the image of my true twin flame, because they were all, they were, of course, forging a lot of the videos that he had onto this private page as well. So they were kind of taking his content and posting it on another private page, but it still allowed me to know more about this person, okay, that I was interested in. And so I started looking at everything, and I started trying to figure out, more about this person, because not only did I believe that I was interacting with him through these DMs, and we started a conversation, we started a dialogue, and he told me a little bit more about himself, and this is all stuff that they had researched and learned about him so that they could lure me in. But anyway, I started to learn more about him on my own. I looked for all kinds of videos, interviews. I started to listen to a lot of his music, and I would say that his music is really what drew me to love him more, because I didn't know a lot of his music, and now was the opportunity that I had to learn about it. So I started learning more about it. I basically listened to every song, and I started to really enjoy it, and this is what really drew me to him. It wasn't necessarily the person that was texting me this whole time. It was the material, it was the music, it was the things that he did to show, that he was giving and kind hearted, and that he was involved with helping people and doing things for the community that he lived in. And it was just amazing to see all of this happening. He was a philanthropist. He was an amazing artist. He was, he liked to stand up for women's rights. He was just a lot of things, that attracted me to him. And more, I started to be more attracted to him. We seemed to have a lot of the similar types of beliefs as well. And so, this is basically what I fell in love with. I didn't fall in love with the person that I was speaking to on the texting, because for one thing, I never got to really have any FaceTime with this person. They were very, like I said, manipulative, in that they kept me from ever knowing truly who they were, based on using my true twin flame's image this whole time. And so the good news is that I was able to learn more about my true twin flame because I did the research. The bad news is this person who was pretending to be my true twin flame was not actually him in the 3D. So, this was kind of going to lead me down a long, ride. But at the same time, there came a time when I went through kind of like a separation from that person, because they stopped texting me abruptly. So I was ghosted by them. And I went through that painful soul splitting experience. Like I told you guys, this person did come into my life for a reason, this false twin flame, okay? And this is something that I hope anyone who gets into a false twin flame experience starts to realize. This person is still very much meant to be in your life, because they are either a soul teacher because of the fact that they're a karmic, partner, or what you call false twin flame. And they're here to show you some things about your soul that you didn't know about, okay? And so this is what I started to realize, is that this person was teaching me things about myself as well as about my actual twin flame. And so, and also this person was instrumental in getting me to research more about why I felt this strong pull towards this person who I knew was my twin, who I, didn't know why I was feeling so strongly being pulled towards this person. But as I started to research what this connection was, I started to learn about twin flames. Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. I started to learn about twin flames based on my interaction on Instagram with this other person, but it was causing me to research more about my true twin flame and more about why I was so magnetically drawn to this person and as my true twin flame. And so I started to see things pop up on my feed about twin flames. And I was like, twin flames, what is that? And so I started researching twin flames. And then all of a sudden, I started realizing that I had been experiencing some of the stages of twin flame journey. And the first being soul recognition, because there was a time when I recognized my soul in the eyes of my twin flame, my true twin flame. And I broke down and started crying. I really, you guys, I had such a breakdown because I kept staring at his pictures, and his pictures are him. So his pictures are the true person, and his eyes are the true eyes of his soul. And I would stare at his pictures, and then one day, it just like a door opened up in my mind and showed me that this is someone who is connected with me on a deep level, soul level. And I just started bawling. I started crying uncontrollably, and it just really made me feel, so much more attracted to him. But not only that, it just made me feel like this was the one for me. This was the person that I was meant to be with, and that, I felt like I had always known him. I felt like he was home to me, all based on soul recognition from his pictures and from his music as well, because I was listening to his music and I started to realize his music was actually speaking to someone that he loved. And it ended up that I was actually connecting with him through his music. And so I would start to feel his energy coming to me. And this is where I started to have the 5D connection with him through his music. Okay, so it wasn't just from staring at his pictures, it was also from his music. It started allowing me to have this 5D connection with him, whereas I felt his energy and his presence with me. And so he would begin to astrally project to me, and as well as I would begin to do that to him. And this is the true 5D connection, okay, that we had. So regardless of what was happening on the 3D, my 5D connection started to develop with this true person who was my true twin flame. And it was a beautiful connection because I felt a lot of things, and I started to really get freaked out at first because I didn't know, how can I feel this? But it's that energetic cord that I was telling you guys about in my last video that was connecting me to him and allowing me to feel whatever he felt whenever he was sad, or whenever he was happy. Even I could feel every sensation, every emotion. I could feel when he was down. I could just feel it. And so like I said, regardless of what was going on in the 3D, I was feeling him on a soul level. And so this is what kept me going as far as on my journey, even though I was having this other experience. So like I said, I did more research on this person, my twin flame. I started to understand more about this journey. I started to have a Kundalini awakening. And that was because I started to meditate, and I started to really want quiet time to myself, because I was still with my karmic partner who was, that I had been with this was going on 20 years now. And I started being really unhappy with the situation because we were growing apart. At this time, we were growing apart, even though we lived together. We were basically just roommates, and we were doing things together still, but I wasn't really happy. And so this online experience, allowed me to realize that there was something more that I wanted out of life, that I needed to find out how I can make more, how I can be happier in my own personal life. And so it started helping me to go and research more about what I could do to be happy. And basically I wanted to be happy, and I wasn't. And so my twin flame kind of awakened that in me, as far as wanting to learn more about who I am as a spiritual being, wanting to be happy, wanting to have a more fulfilling life. And I had gone through my dark night of the soul, with having, experienced a lot of different traumas and things that were going on in my life that were haywire. I had already gone through my dark night of the soul. And so being able to be introduced to music in such a way where, as I was raising my vibration, allowed me to, like I said, lift myself to the point where, as I was on a high enough frequency to actually identify my twin flame as a soul recognition. Okay. So I don't have I don't have a way to know at this point whether or not my twin flame recognized me as well through my interaction online as far as liking his posts. I have some kind of an inkling from my spirit guides that he did have a recognition of who I am, but he didn't really know that I was his twin flame either. And so even though he might have seen my likes and started to see, maybe he started to get curious as far as interested in knowing who I am, maybe he started looking at my Instagram page as well, because a lot of times, um, celebrities will be online and they will make accounts just so that they can go online on a private site and start looking for things that they're interested in too, or maybe wanting to talk to someone, and they might want to be incognito. They'll go through and they'll check out someone's Instagram page. I have an inkling from my spirit guides that he did have some clue as to he was going on my page, but I don't have the actual proof, but well, actually I do have some more signs which I can show you guys, or tell you guys about, which is that he would post things on his Twitter or his Instagram that were kind of like messages. Okay, they were kind of like messages that were, I believe, kind of like mirroring my own messages that I would put on my posts. And this is going to be specific to me again, so you guys won't be able to really understand what I mean per se when I say that he would mirror me with his like messages, but I know what it means to me. Okay, so it's just one of those things. You have to go by faith on this journey. A lot of times you can't expect everything to be so cut and clear cut or cut and dry on this, in this situation, in this connection. You have to be able to go based on faith. And if you see things in the physical that kind of show you that you're on the right path, you have to trust that that was meant for you. Okay, that was your sign, that to keep going on this journey. And so those were the signs that I would get for me to keep going. um, I would just trust and believe that this sign was meant for me, that his post was in reference to me, that his songs were speaking about me. I just had to go based on faith. And so this was my journey. I sometimes felt as though he was missing his person, because like I said, a lot of his music spoke about a special person that he kind of was connected to on a spiritual or deeper level. And so I would feel or sense when he was missing me, as his twin flame. And so this would be something that would pull at my heartstrings. It would tug at my heartstrings, and I would send him love. And so when I started doing my meditation practice, um, it was helping me to also clear my mind as far as getting away from my karmic situation and learning how to break free from that. So please go to the Break Free playlist and check out that playlist. If you are in a situation where you're trying to break out of a situation that you've been in, that you are unhappy with, okay, because that is a really, really great series for you guys. If you haven't checked it out already, please do. But I started learning how to be more confident in my own solitude, and learning how to be by myself and do things on my own. So my 5D connection grew much stronger through my Kundalini awakening and my meditation practice. And I started to really think about how I could leave and exit out of my karmic partner situation. So fast forwarding to 2020, I went through, like I said, a period of time whereas I was learning more about myself, learning more about the twin flame journey, and starting to understand what it's all about. And at this time, I physically, in the physical 3D, felt like I had been ghosted by this person, that was ended up being the false twin flame. But it was such an experience that allowed me to go through kind of a separation. And it allowed me to really learn more about who I am as a spiritual being. And that was a beautiful thing for me, because I tell you guys what, for me personally, this journey has been all about my relationship with my creator, with who I call Father Mama. And so this has been the most important thing for me. Learning who I am as a child of my creator, and just being able to understand that this is going to lead me to more happiness and fulfillment, And I don't have to have someone in my life in order to do that. I don't have to have, someone to be with. I can be happy and be alone. And I can also love myself and be just thankful for my experiences, learning who I am, because my twin flame triggered this awakening in me. And so I will always be forever grateful for that. I don't necessarily have to be with my twin flame. At this point, I'm in my surrender stage where I don't necessarily have to be with my twin flame in order to be happy. I can know that I was awakened on this spiritual journey. I started to learn more about what it means to me. And I can truly say that I have been so blessed to be able to start this channel, to be able to do the things that I'm doing now with you guys. And it's just been a wonderful experience for me, and learning what my gifts are, my spiritual gifts. And so learning that I can do things, more things to help people, has been such a rewarding thing for me on this journey, that I can honestly say that if it was just me having to live the rest of my life, helping people in this way, that I would be happy with that, because I enjoy what I do and I love to help people on this journey. So, so this is why, I feel as though the twin flame journey is more so about me. It's not about my twin flame, but, I do believe that twin flames are meant to come into union, in the physical, once they have healed. And so, whatever it is that I have to continue to do to heal myself, I'm going to do it, because that is the steps that you have to take in order to be with them in union. But you don't want to focus on them, in the process. You want to focus on you. You really should focus on yourself and your healing. And that's what I've been doing, okay? So that's why I gathered enough strength to leave my karmic partner in 2020, and I went to New York, which is where my twin flame lives. And so I went to New York, and I decided to go in summer of 2020, and it was a crazy time because it was during the pandemic, but I had a way to do that because financially I had come across unemployment, which was something that I feel was a blessing in disguise for me, because I was able to go ahead and go to New York as a result. And I started to really experience life there. I stayed there for 2 months and had just a really, really great time. Um, but the first thing that I would say would be the number 5 sign and synchronicity that I had during this time period was that when I got there, I ended up seeing his name on a building. And so that was a really big sign for me. Another big sign was that I saw his name, big as day, on a building. And, I was just like, wow, I never would have thought that I would run across this anywhere. And that was one of my signs. And I just felt his energy. His energy was so strong when I was there. You know, um, I went through more of a deep spiritual awakening while I was there because of the fact that his energy and my energy was intertwining, was connecting through, the spiritual cord that we have. And it was just much more stronger. And because I made the choice to leave my karmic partner, I had to also clear out those dense energies that I had accumulated from my karmic partner situation. And so I was releasing as well as allowing myself to open up more space for my twin flame. And so during that time, as my heart space opened more and more, I felt more and more of my twin flame. We did more of the astral projection, and the Kundalini was rising more and more. And so I was actually able to really feel myself spiritually cleansing, and my chakras aligning. And so as your chakras align, go to the chakra cleansing series so you can know what that is. Um, in the playlist section. As you align your chakras, as you start to cleanse your chakras, your twin flame also cleanses their chakras. And so I could feel both of us kind of cleansing our chakras together. As I started to realize that there were things in me that were healing, I could also sense that he was healing too. There were things that I feel he was addicted to that he needed to get off of. There were things that just we wouldn't have been able to come together physically at that time anyway, because we both had things that we needed to heal. I had generational curses that I needed to heal, and he had, and also things that I needed to take care of with my self-confidence and self-worth. And he had those as well, but he also had, things that I feel like he might have had as far as addictions are concerned that he had to get over. And, just from being in the industry for so many years, I know that he was struggling with a lot of things that he needed to work on. And so as he felt the energetic pull from me, I believe that he started to really change his own life. And the fact that I feel that he was becoming more spiritual himself, And there were, again, things that he would post that would lead me to believe this, okay? So I was connecting more and more to my higher self, and as my kundalini was rising, and it was just so wonderful for me to be able to just do things on my own that I had never done before. And that's when I told you guys, one of the signs along this journey is doing things that you've never done before that raises your vibration, going to a new place, or doing things like taking yourself to dinner, or going to a movie by yourself, and just doing things that you love. I was walking to every single park in New York. Every single day I would go pick a different park and go walk there. It was amazing. I was just so happy, so free, and there were not too many people out in the street because, it was a pandemic. So I had a chance to do all this, for myself and enjoy it, and have more solitude as well because it wasn't too packed. So for 2 months I was there. I really felt connected to him spiritually and energetically. Again, I feel like this was our time to bond, energetically. And so our 5D connection grew much stronger. And then eventually I had to come back to Los Angeles because I was, running out of money for one thing. And I'm so glad that I had kept my apartment here and was able to come back here and start to live my life here, because it was a lot less expensive, and it was also just going to keep me, on my healing journey. And also it was going to allow me to be able to interact with my family again, because I, for so long, had not interacted with them. And everything started to open up. All these doors started to open up I got a new job. I had my family come back around, and I started to interact with them and heal, things within my family, structure. So many things happened, and it was meant to happen this way because I was supposed to heal, and so that was a big blessing for me, and I couldn't have done all of this if I had met my twin flame. I was hoping, yes, when I went to New York that I was going to run into him or meet him. I was really hoping that, even though I had no idea where he lived, I had no idea, how to contact him, but, just the fact that we had that energetic bond grow stronger from my presence there with him, it just paved the way for so many new things and new doors to open up for me. And I'm sure it did for him as well. So, during that time, a lot of artists were not working because there was no concerts and there were no, shows going on. So I know he had a lot of time to think and a lot of time to do some healing work of his own during that time period. And by me being close to him in proximity, I do believe that it gave him the strength and energy to be able to heal, like I said, a lot of the addictions or things that he might have been struggling with in his own life. Okay, and we both had to do these things on our own, in our own time, and do it separately from one another, okay? So soon after I came back from New York, like I said, I got a new job. I started doing things on my own here in LA, and I saw that things were starting to open back up. And for my twin flame as well, I started seeing that he was going to be going on tour again. So it was amazing that the things that were healing in both of us allowed me to not only find new opportunities through employment, but him as well. Being able to get back out on the touring scene and be able to go on tour again. And so I was happy for him because I realized that it was a very difficult time for him during the pandemic, and I did feel a lot of times his stress, and I did feel his unhappiness from not being able to perform. And so it made me smile so much when I was able to see him being active on Instagram again and being able to witnessed that he was going back on tour, it was a really exciting feeling. And I was happy, like I said, happy for him, and hoping that, he was, living his life to the fullest, and growing and healing. Okay, so, and I would actually feel that, I would feel energetically his spirit's lifting. And so, those were also signs for me. What you feel energetically on this journey is a huge part of your sign. How you feel energetically, when you're thinking about your twin flame, when you're sending them love, when they're sending it back to you, because they will send it back to you through their higher self. All of these things are just so beautiful to experience, and it keeps you going on your journey. Okay. And during that time in New York, I was also actually able to connect with my spirit babies. So I started to realize that, I had spirit babies, and that these were going to be our future children. And so that was a beautiful thing. Like I said, my gifts started to open up. I started to realize I was clairaudient and clairsentient. So I felt my spirit baby's presence, and I also was able to hear them speaking to me. And so, that was a beautiful, beautiful thing for me to be able to witness and experience. I was so thrilled when I had that, and I actually was able to continue to feel their presence with me even when I came back to LA, and even now I still feel them with me, and I hear them talking to me every day, and a lot of people would say, that's kind of weird, but I also realize that I'm a medium, and so I can speak to spirits that have crossed over, as well as spirit babies. People, the souls that have not yet been born or reincarnated into this life, and I can speak to souls that have also crossed over. So this is my gift, and this is something that I would not have experienced or reawakened to if I had kept staying with my karmic partner. Okay, so just know, if you're in a situation where you need to let go of this situation because it's no longer serving your highest good, okay, this is what we mean when we say serving your highest good. If you're in a situation like a karmic situation, and you know that it's time to move on because by now things have started to crumble, and you know that it's not working anymore, if you don't let go of that situation, then you're not going to be able to tap into your spiritual gifts, because you're still going to be stuck with that dense energy that is left over from being in this karmic situation. That energy, that dense energy, has to be cleared in order for you to really open up back to your spiritual gifts again. Okay. So so that was kind of like number 6, was my cleansing and my connection with my intuition and my higher self, and my spirit guides, and also my angels, being able to learn that I'm a medium. All of those were beautiful signs for me that I was on the right path, because otherwise I would have never remembered that I had these gifts. And since I had them as a child and they were just reawakened in me, it was a way for me to reconnect with my inner child as well, because I was able to start doing things that I used to do as a child, I loved doing as a child, and it was healing. It was healing me more and more. Okay. So number 7 is that I started to begin a new life of my own, completely independent. Okay. And I did things that I always wanted to do. I healed the relationships with my family. I became more and more connected to my higher self. And I started to see my physical appearance changing too. I started to see more of a radiance and glow on my countenance. And I started to see myself being more happy and free. And I started to also feel other people being more attracted to me as well, that I would work with. And so it was a beautiful thing, just seeing me, like I told you guys in the last video about, the divine feminine glowing up, getting her glow up. And so I was experiencing that firsthand on my journey. Another sign when you're on the journey, if you're seeing yourself really radiating and drawing in more people attracted to you, that is a glow up. That is something that means that you're on the right path, and that you're healing, and that you're allowing people to be attracted to you. Yes, you're going to attract people who are, kind and nice, and you're going to attract your soul family in, but you're also going to attract people who are going to be, coming for the purpose of being energy vampires, or for them trying to bring you down, okay, because they're jealous of the connection you have with yourself, okay? They just don't know how you're able to do it, and they might feel threatened by that, and so they start to, come at you and start doing things to trigger you, okay? So this is where you're going to have to learn how to really heal, and so that the triggers don't affect you as much. And they will affect you at first, but this is all a part of the healing process, learning how to handle triggers so that they don't affect you in such a harsh way in the future. Okay, you just need to get to a point where you're able to handle it well, and because they will still come up. But if you know, the more you start to love yourself on this journey, the more you start to really connect and tap into your inner peace and your true self, the more you're able to bounce back and handle these situations. Like I said, the tower moments that come up with the triggers that will be there to throw you off, but you'll be able to really bounce back from it more quickly. Okay, so I was meditating, I was praying, I started to make it a practice every day. My family's relationships started to grow stronger. And I did my breath work. I researched, I did more about the journey. I learned more about the journey. And I ended up, you know, yes, I was listening to tarot readings because on YouTube, here on YouTube, because I was interested in understanding the journey more. And, you know, also I would find people that I would resonate with. So that was one of the things that led me to my mission, because one particular tarot reader, who I will name, is guided by angels, started to share with us on her channel, you know, that people can actually do what she does. And so I just was amazed by this. I was thinking to myself, you know, wow, you know, I was a very shy person, very introverted. And so I was very intimidated by the thought of starting a YouTube channel, you know, even though, you know, I had already started singing and doing all these things, you know, and learning how to get over my stage fright, you know, doing something like a YouTube channel was still intimidating to me. But she kind of suggested that, you know, we all have it within us on this journey to help heal others. And that would be, you know, something that you could do for your mission. And so this is how I started to learn what my mission is as far as helping other twin flames on this journey. And I started to do the research as to what it was that I could contribute. Can I contribute? And so I realized my love for music and my passion for music could help me to help others and heal on this journey. And that's why I started Twin Flame Musical Therapy. Okay, so I'm gonna hurry up and finish because my phone is about to die on me, and also I need to make this a little shorter. So but so yes, that was one of the also the signs for me, is someone that was actually suggesting, you know, me starting a twin flame channel. And that was a sign, because, you know, she doesn't know me, you know, per se, but she was just throwing it out there for people who, you know, might be interested in doing it. And I took that idea and ran with it. Okay, so I would also listen to other tarot readers, and once I started to begin my mission with my YouTube channel, that opened a whole nother set of doors for me. You know, that was another thing that I started to realize, is that I had a soul family, and so I started to meet my soul family through my interactions with my YouTube channel and the Instagram page that I created. As a result, I was able to meet other people who are on this journey that I resonated with and connected with, and we were able to discuss similar events and occurrences that we've had on our journeys, and that was really helpful for me. Okay, so that was number 8. I started my mission, and I began to meet my soul family. And then number 9 was that I also started to see my twin flames name here in LA on street signs and on buildings all the time. I was seeing number signs all the time too. Still continue to see the number signs, you know. And more recently, you know, now that I've begun my mission, now that I've been on my journey for 4 years now and started to really be in the surrender stage, I started to get more signs. Okay, and recently I found a tarot reader who I started to listen to, and lo and behold, in one of her readings, which blew me away, she mentioned my twin flames name in one of his songs. And I was just like so shocked, because not ever have I run into a tarot reader. They always give, like, you know, pick cards, or, you know, pick a pile or whatever readings, and then they may have charms that they'll use, and then they'll start, you know, using the charms to name people, you know, that might be on your path. And so never have I ran into anyone that said my twin flame's name, because it's just a different kind of name. And so I would always, you know, I would always get discouraged by that kind of, because I'd be like, I'm never going to hear my twin flame being mentioned on a YouTube channel. That's just, his name is just too unique. And so this particular tarot reader that I found not only mentioned his name, but mentioned one of his songs, not only once, but twice in two different readings. And I was just blown away. That was another sign for me from my twin flame that his 5D self is getting stronger and stronger, and we're connecting more and more. And these are the signs that we're sending each other. And so I'm sure, by now, that he has probably learned about me. And I've had actually people in my soul family who I've gone to for guidance tell me that my twin flame does know who I am now. That is an amazing thing for me, because it is actually confirmation that I needed. There will be a time on your journey, most everyone will have to seek out help from someone who you trust on this journey, because you're going to want confirmation about things on your journey. You're going to want to know that things that you're seeing and witnessing are actually true. And so this is one of the things that I felt I needed to do for myself, because for me, just not knowing, having the doubts. Okay, so this is one of the things that someone asked me also to talk about, is that, yes, I had a lot of doubts going throughout this whole thing. Is this my true twin flame? Is this twin flame thing really a real phenomenon? And what is this, that's happened to me? I could not deny the signs that were happening as far as spiritually goes, because the things that were just happening to me were just too clear for me. The signs that I was getting were too clear that I'm on a spiritual journey. So first of all, I never questioned that I was on a spiritual journey. But I did question, if this person who is a celebrity is my twin flame. Over and over again, I questioned this. I questioned, is this something that I'm supposed to, actually pursue? And how is this ever going to happen? How are we going to ever meet? So there were times when I really went through my doubts. And so I did have to go to the point where, as I sought help for that, because I needed to know, for myself, if this was going to be something that I should pursue further, because there were, like I said, years were going by, and I didn't know if I should continue to wait for this person, or if I should just go ahead and live my life and settle down with a soul partner, a soulmate. So I was kind of getting worried, because, I just had doubts, and so, and especially because I still had that false twin flame in my life at the time. And the false twin flame actually ended up telling me the truth about them not being the person that they claimed to be, which actually was a blessing for me. Okay, that was a big sign from the universe that my karmic relationship with this person was over. I was going through a karmic lesson with them, and that now that they had actually given me the truth that I needed to move and to heal and move on, I was going to be able to meet my true twin flame after this experience. And this started to happen last year in July. Okay, I started to realize that this person, was not who they say they are, and had been pretending to be my true twin flame the whole time. Okay, and so, I had to deal with a lot of heartache and, loss, because I had given this person lots of money, and, under the impression that they had been my true twin flame. And, they had made up so many lies. They had hurt me so many times, telling me they were going to come visit me so many times. And, and I just was very naive in that, I had been, like I said, not used to social media, and not knowing that this could actually happen to people, until I started to get things coming up on my feed about also scammers as well. Okay, so yeah, I had even just that experience of having the false twin flame, and knowing that things like this do happen with people on social media, and really having a heart for anybody who has been through this, type of catfishing and scheming and scamming, especially like a romance scamming type thing, because it's easy to get sucked into it. And I want you to know that you're not alone, and that there are things that you can do to get help. And, if you need help, let me know. Email me. My email's in the description box below. And so I really, really feel for people who've been through this, because it is not easy. And a lot of times these people, especially if they're out of the country, um, can be using black magic or spells to cause you to feel sucked in and to keep continuing to do this, especially if you're on a spiritual path. Because this person started to learn more about the twin flame journey because I mentioned it to them, and I mentioned, that I felt that we were twin flames. And so they started to research it and use that also to kind of like make it more convincing that they were, meant to be with me. And so I had to really, forgive myself and start to heal from a lot of the things that I caused in my own situation with the false twin flame. But I do feel as though this was meant to happen to me, and it also led me, like I said, to be able to be having a better understanding and awareness of people on Instagram and social media who do this type of thing, who create fake accounts. I can spot a fake account now from a mile away. I can spot it. I can see when they've been, making, copying and pasting other people's content. I see it all now. And whereas before I didn't. So I had to learn and go through all this in order to see it, because this has not happened once, but it has happened many times, where people will have created fake accounts under my true twin flames name and have approached me online because I have liked his posts or made comments on his posts. And they will they will stalk out people that do that, and they'll try to convince them that they're him. So I've had many, many more people that have claimed to be my true twin flame try to follow me on Instagram, but I can detect it now. Not only that, I'm just more aware of, like I said, my third eye is more clear as to detecting energies that are no longer serving me, that are no good for me. And one of the also the things that I'm going to put in the description box is a song from Beautiful Chorus called Any Energy I Do Not Need May Leave. You can listen to that. It's like a mantra for you to be able to experience and listen to, and to learn how to clear your own thoughts and your own space from energies that you don't need, that no longer serve you, or that you picked up from being an empath. Because if we're empaths, then we always pick up other people's energy. Every day we go through it, when we go to work, when we go anywhere, around others that might be sad or have energies that will weigh us down, because we take on a lot of their burden. We have to go back into our solitude when we get home and meditate and cleanse all of that, or else we carry it with us, and it tends to weigh us down and makes our energy body more dense, and then our chakras start to get out of balance. And so we need to learn how to clear out our the dense energy as light workers and twin flames. Every day we need to be in our meditation, we need to be in our breath, doing our breath work. And so this is going to help you to clear out those dense energies. Okay, so yeah, I've become more and more keen on how to detect a lot of these things for myself, and know how not to get into that situation again. But yeah, I did going back to me going for help, because right after this person revealed to me, well, actually before they revealed to me that they were pretending to be my true twin flame this whole time, I was finding my soul family because of my YouTube channel. And I started to realize that there were people out there who had similar experiences as me that I could trust. And so I used their spiritual guidance to ask whether or not my twin flame knows who I am. And finally, I received the answer that yes, my twin flame knows who I am, knows of me, and has been watching my Instagram. And so this was a huge sign for me, a huge sign that I had to get, confirmed from the universe, because I didn't want to continue to, be stuck in this doubtful stage. I didn't want to keep being stuck thinking that I was doing all this in vain, that I was following this person in vain, that I was hoping for them to be able to be my twin flame in vain. Even though I felt them in the 5D, nothing was happening in the 3D except for this false twin flame experience. And once that false twin flame experience was revealed to me, I got really depressed because I realized that they were not my true twin flame. And so I started to panic and started to think, my God, does the true twin flame even know that I'm their twin flame, or that I even exist? Have they ever seen pictures of me or what? I didn't know. I didn't know. So this is where I needed to have some comfort, some confirmation, some spiritual guidance. And I went to people that I trusted that confirmed that, yes, this is my twin flame. And yes, we are here to do a mission together. And yes, he knows who I am. So by this time, we both probably been through some similar experiences. We probably mirrored each other in terms of having been through experiences. Maybe he's had a false twin flame too, that I'll learn about when I meet him. And so I won't know until I meet him. But I had a sense that he had been going through something similar, because not only things that I felt, but some things that he told me in the 5D telepathically, and just being aware that we had this bond, telepathically. I've been able to find out things from him about himself, on the 5D. So this is something that you're going to have to learn how to do, is trust your intuition. But when you do get stuck, it is okay to ask for help. Okay, it is okay to go and seek out spiritual practitioners that you resonate with. But please know who you're talking to and who you're going to and who you're trusting with this information on your journey. Especially if you're in a celebrity twin flame connection, because not everybody has your best interest, especially if they realize that you're in a connection like this. It's rare, and so they may tend to be jealous, or they may tend to say things to kind of throw you off. Okay, so a lot of times you will run into that too. And so I ran into situations where I just felt I couldn't tell certain people about this connection, and I still haven't, besides, apart from this channel and apart from the people that I just told you about that I went to for help on my journey, I haven't told anyone in my family. I haven't told anybody about my connection as a twin flame and a celebrity connection. And so this is why I choose to keep my actual connection private, because it's better for me and better for my twin flame, so that I can give him time and space to heal in his own life and come to me when he's ready, And so that is what I'm looking forward to, because now that I know that he does know who I am, it's on him to reach out to me. It's going to be on him to reach out to me, and because he does know my Instagram page. And so and it's going to be up to me to be able to spot if he is the true person that is contacting me. Okay, so there's a lot of factors involved, and this is why this is not an easy connection to be in. But I've been through a lot of the stages of this journey, and now that like I said, I'm in the surrender phase, and also this was confirmed to me by my spiritual practitioners as well, that I have done the work, and that I am ready for my union. And so this is going to be opening the doors for my twin flame to come towards me and offer me, my gift of love, my gifts that they want to offer me, And so it's going to happen. I'm very confident now that this is going to happen, and it's going to happen very soon. And I'm excited. I have messages still, signs every day. As a matter of fact, this is what I'm going to end it off with. I had told you guys about the tarot readings that they mentioned my twin flame's name. But not only that, at my job, I had asked a coworker about going to a concert, and I had mentioned that I hadn't been to a concert before. And so, as a matter of fact, this concert that I went to last night, she and I went together, and she had suggested that we go to see the Isley Brothers. And then but back when I mentioned it to her that I'd like to go to the concert, this summer, and I was naming a couple of people that I was interested in going to see, and I named female artists, but she ended up naming a male artist who happened to be my twin flame. And I was just amazed because out of all the people she could have said, my twin flame's name came out of her mouth. And I was just like, Spirit, another sign. Thank you so much. Because um, that was just a sign. Okay, I have to say that is a sign from the universe, because there are so many different artists out there that she could have said, but she said my twin flame's name at work, and it was just such a beautiful confirmation for me. And then another one that I experienced was a customer that I was helping came up to me, really nice little old lady, and she was just looked very unassuming, and very, kind of like, uh, you know, just sweet, but just look a little disheveled, And so I didn't judge, but I just kind of like saw her and saw her smile, and she was looking a little tired that day, but she wanted to buy some perfume, and so I helped her. And she not only bought one, she bought several perfumes from me, and she was so sweet. She kept complimenting me, and she kept saying, you know, you're so beautiful, and I kept saying, thank you so much. And, she said, oh my gosh, she said, um, is your name by any chance Rose? And I was like, oh my God, I had just done the seals, a kiss from a rose, message, divine masculine channel message, like a day before, and I had just done that one. And then I said, no, but that a rose has a very significant meaning for me, because like I told you guys in that particular video, that my twin flame in the 5D always calls me, or has called me, Rose in the past, and he has said to me that you're pretty as a rose, and this is something that I would clairaudient hear, and so I've always loved roses too, and it's just been one of my favorite flowers. And so flowers are also very significant to us on our journey. But anyway, he has a favorite flower, and I have a favorite flower, so it's kind of nice. But mine, he calls me Rose, and as a kind of a nickname. And so the customer said, you are so beautiful. Is your name by any chance Rose? And I said, oh my God, no, but I have I said it could be, but I said, because it is a special name, and has a special meaning to me. And I said, I'm so thankful that you mentioned that. It's just confirmation for me today of something that I've been, going through, and you just gave me confirmation. She said, and oh, I forgot to mention that she also said, is your name Rose by any chance? Because you're just so beautiful. Your face is as beautiful as a rose, which is the same thing, exactly my twin flame would say to me. And so, in the 5D. And so I was just blown away by that. And so these are the things that are going to happen for specific to you. You're going to have your own signs and synchronicities like that on your journey, and trust that they are true. Trust that they are meant for you. Trust that your twin flame is sending them from their higher self. Okay. um so yes, these are all my signs. Okay. Beautiful signs. I've also had signs from animals, spirit animals. Hummingbirds are a big one for me on my journey. Lions, different spirit animals, a moose, and I'll always go and look up the name of these animals. I also have, another big one. I've seen white dogs everywhere, and I have had a clue from spirit and from source that I'm going to end up having a white dog in my future. And so I had been seeing for a period of like a month, I know, for a period of like 6 months actually, or so, I saw a white dog every day, like a little cute white dog, just every day, and it just like all the time for so many months. I saw a white dog everywhere I turned, and I started to get messages from spirit that I was gonna end up having a dog in my future that was gonna be a little white dog, and I even have a name for this dog. So that was another sign for me, that this dog is going to be in my future. And, it has a special connection with me. It's a soul, a spirit animal, it's a soul connection that we have. And so I'm looking forward to the day that this dog appears in my life.
Please recharge in time.
I'm looking forward to the day that this dog appears in my life. I'm looking forward to the day that my twin flame shows up in my life. I'm looking to the day forward to the day when my spirit babies are become physical babies. And I'm just so excited because all of these gifts have been shown to me, and signs have been shown to me over the course of this 4 years. And I want to let you guys know, as I did my mission, as I started to do my mission, my signs got stronger. Okay, my spiritual gifts, excuse me, got stronger. So I wanted you to know that this is all a part of the journey. And like I was telling you guys, also being on your mission is very important as far as coming into union. And another thing I want to tell you is that if you've been in a false twin flame situation, this is also a good indicator that within a short period of time after having having revealed to you that you're in a false twin flame situation, you're going to meet your true twin flame. And this is also what I was hopeful for. And so, the doubts were there, yes, that this was ever going to happen. But now that I know that I've been in a false twin flame relationship, and that I know based on other previous twin flame couples that have said this before, that they've been in false twin flame relationships and that they met their true twin flame very soon after. And that was confirmed to me also by my spiritual practitioners. I do anticipate meeting my true twin flame very soon. So it is possible. Just keep having the faith, keep trusting and believing. But I had to get to a point where, as I was comfortable living my life without my twin flame, and I had to get to a point where I was independent and working on my mission by myself, and learning that I was here to help others on this journey. And that's why I've dedicated myself to this channel for the last year. It's been a year since I started this channel. And so I want to leave you guys with that, because this is my way of saying thank you, by sharing my details of my journey with you, sharing the synchronicities and signs that I've had, the number signs, everything was there for me, from the beginning. And so, as you guys go through the playlist section, as you start learning what to heal, how to heal on your journey by listening to my other videos, please go through the other videos, because like I told you guys, I'm going to take a small hiatus, about a month, to take some time to myself, to start doing music again, and start to really reevaluate my career choice, my career path. And so I need some time. And I want you guys to start learning about how to heal your own self through the playlist, and catch up on some of the videos that you might not have seen yet, okay? So go to the playlist section and click on the ones that the title resonates with you. It's kind of like having your own tarot reading, because when you see these playlists and you see the titles of the playlist, they're kind of like tarot cards in and of themselves, because they have titles that will resonate with you on your journey, whatever stage you're on. Click on it and start going through those videos. Start healing, or continue to heal if you've already been doing that. So, so yes, I'm going to be back in another month. And I just want you guys to know I love you guys so much. Keep going on your journey. Seek help when you need it, but don't get suckered into, doing obsessive things, like with, spending a lot of money, or doing things that are just obsessive, on your journey as far as tarot readings all the time. You're going to have to start learning to trust your intuition. You're going to have to start learning to really love yourself more than anything. Love yourself until the point where you really let go of everything that doesn't serve you. If I hadn't chose to love myself, I would have never got out of that false twin flame situation. I would have kept going with it, because, I was really, really convinced at some point that I was talking to my true twin flame. And I was, like I said, being put under spells and black magic. And, I had to get stronger with my spiritual gifts in order to counter that black magic and those spells that were being done on me. So I had to get stronger with my spiritual gifts. I had to learn who I am as a spiritual being, and to really meditate every day, start eating better, start doing all the things that I knew that were going to help me on my journey. That was the work that I did. I helped heal my inner child. I helped heal my family and generational curses. I went through so much in these 4 years that I do believe that there is a time that you have to go through being alone on this journey. And so don't get discouraged. Don't get overwhelmed with fear or doubt or, self-sabotaging behaviors, because that's just going to keep you from getting closer to your union. But if you love yourself, and find ways to do that, find ways to heal, then you're going to speed up the process, okay? And you're going to get there faster, but you're going to really get to the point where you're okay with not knowing how this is going to happen on your journey. You're going to get okay with not knowing how you're going to meet your twin flame. If you're in separation, you're going to be okay with being in separation from your twin flame physically, because you're going to realize that they're going to eventually come back when they're healed, okay? But you're also needing to continue healing, and you're going to need to start doing your mission. So, whatever stage you are on this journey, I just want to give you hope and encouragement and and help you learn how to love yourself more through doing the research you need to do in order to heal on your journey. Okay. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, share it with others. I just hope it helps in some way. I feel like, there's just been so much going on. I had a tire blowout today on the freeway, you guys, and I was really, it was really kind of scary, but my angels protected me and allowed me to get from. I was almost in the carpool lane, and I had to get all the way over from the very left hand lane all the way to the right lane without hitting anyone, because I had to slow down significantly. It was very scary, but my angels guided me through, and I was able to get to safety and get my car towed to get to a tire shop to get new tires. But man, it was just something, that's the reason, part of the reason why the last few days is everything I've been putting on my posts have been about tower moments that are coming left and right, and they're to kind of, shake you up a little bit, but also, you know, I had to keep going. I had to keep going with my journey. I had to keep meditating. I had to keep bringing my focus back to what I need to do, which is to be able to make videos for you guys and to be able to heal myself more so that I can prepare my own self for my own union. Okay. So that's where I'm at right now. And I just want to thank you guys for listening to me and for sticking with me and sticking with this channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful month of June. I'll be still posting shorts for you guys, and maybe shorter videos. Like I always say short and then they end up being long, but I'll try to post some videos periodically so that you guys can still be aware of what's going on with me. But yes, I'm going to be taking a break, and I hope that you guys will bear with me and continue to watch the videos that are already posted from the playlist section. Okay, thank you so very much. I love you guys all. I hope that you guys are really much more at ease now with your own journey and how you can develop your own self so that you can get to the surrender stage and learn to love yourself more and heal on this journey. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye.